What's going on, guys? You guys ready to talk about MEPS, medical exam? I'm not either. I know it's one of the more detailed parts of the process, the make or break for a lot of people, but I got you guys covered with everything that you need to know and some hacks to make things a little bit more easier. So let's get straight to it. So think of the medical exam as a very thorough annual checkup, military style, of course. So the biggest thing why they do this is to make sure they can remove themselves from liability from any type of catastrophic or potential catastrophic events that may be put on them for not doing their due diligence and making sure that you're good. So say if you had like sickle cell, you had one lung or irregular heartbeat or something, or any other type of ailments, they don't want to make sure they don't have to deal with that if something does happen to you. Also for disability claims too. So say if you hurt your ankle in base training, but you already have bad ankle problems and stuff like that, they can already have that annotated. I know that's like a tedious example, but they'll look at certain things to kind of note, okay, you already had this condition prior to you coming out here. So if you get hurt, okay, we can kind of dismiss your claim or reduce your claim or even enhance your claim, but more likely it's going to be the other option, and then you have to just go through the, legal distribution or documentation to kind of disprove that. So they kind of evaluate that. The next thing is the vision and the hearing test. So enough said how it is. They'll test your eyesight, your hearing, and fun fact, even if you do have glasses, it's not an automatic disqualifier, or contacts is not really as big of a deal unless you're just super blind. But let the doctor determine that for you. Don't determine that for yourself. Also too, with the hearing sucks as well, but you should be fine. But only thing is make sure that you stay still when you do it, because you can hear everything. If you're breathing kind of heavy, you can hear your voice with the headphones they put on. You can hear your breath with the headphones on. It's very, very distinct in certain things. So just kind of stay still as possible. Make sure you're breathing real calm, where it's not distracting you from what you're hearing on the hearing test. The next thing is the lab test, where they'll test your blood work, your urine, but don't let it scare you unless you're doing a lot of drugs or doing some type of drugs. So try to make sure you clean yourself up. So what they test for is the cliche stuff, methamphetamines, cocaine, weed. If you hit that, then obviously that's a no-go. Also, they do a breathalyzer as well too. So if you go to MEPS or whatever and you was drinking the night before or something, or try to take a shot before you try to alleviate the stress, they do breathalyzer on there, so you don't want to blow anything, so you'll get in big trouble for doing that. The next thing is the medical history review. I would say that's probably the biggest thing, where I will focus on being more tactful in your transparency. Not saying be dishonest, I'm not going to say that on the record, but if you have certain elements that can cause catastrophic or something that can be very limiting to you successfully completing the base training or just overall army stuff, then obviously disclose that, of course. But if it's something like you just over talk, like say I get a headache or what, I had a headache yesterday, and they didn't really ask that, because they're looking for the deeper root of the situation. So if you had a headache yesterday because you went out or people was yelling everywhere, then that's not something really disclose, unless you just have random migraines every single day or something. Then okay, disclose that, because that can be something real serious. But I would say if it's something like that, disclose that to your recruiter first, and they can kind of teach you how to navigate through it or get a waiver for it. But don't listen. I personally I'm not gonna say y'all gonna sit here and just lie, but just be transparent and tactful with your approach. Preparation is key. So here's how to set yourself up for success before even showing up. So I suggest getting a physical, not just a physical examination, but also check your teeth, check your mental. Also within the physical, make sure your mobility is good, because you're gonna have to do a lot of things that affect your range of motion to complete certain actions to get qualified. Because if you have bad mobility as well, that is a disqualifier in some situations, because it's a route for something else serious. And also too, the good thing about it is, say for example, if you have that moral compass where I just have to be truthful no matter what, but I just said things that kind of was left out. When you go to reception, you do have a amnesty period. So if you wasn't being truthful and you feel really bad about it, you do have that option to kind of talk to the leadership, and they can kind of process you out if you did have something really dire to you that you shouldn't have even said or didn't say before you showed up. So you do have the opportunity, so don't feel like it's going to be that super mega of a deal. So you do have that amnesty period when you go out to MEPS, to reception and stuff. So, but like I said, just be tactful in your approach. The next thing, I would say stay healthy. Once you get through MEPS or before you get to MEPS, try not to hurt yourself or try to, put yourself in a predicament where you end up getting a disqualifier for something you did outside of MEPS, So if you was driving reckless and you get in an accident or something, or you tripped and fell, or you was doing some parkour or something, just try to make sure that you not do anything physically health damaging. Also too, make sure you're hydrated, you're eating clean, you're getting a lot of sleep before the examination. It makes a big difference. One of the biggest challenges that you may face is the fear of being disqualified. So I get it, it's a lot of things that you can do or say that can get disqualified. I will say this in a positive perspective. In some cases, it is many conditions that do have waivers available. So I wouldn't stress too much about it. Yes, it would cause a temporary delay on your process. It might set you back a week, months, even a year on certain standpoints. Biggest thing is just make sure you speak to the recruiter. Don't go in a situation where you're telling the recruiter that everything is all good. Then you go to the doctor and you disclose everything. Don't be one of those type of people. The recruiter can explain the ins and outs of the process. If you feel like the recruiter is kind of janky, then get another recruiter. It's always other options to do, but don't leave the recruiter out hanging. Not because me looking out for a recruiter, it's just more like you make things a little bit more inconvenient than need to be. You can kind of take care of any type of issues beforehand before going to the doctor. And if you feel uncomfortable disclosing that stuff to a recruiter, then just simply just speak in hypotheticals. Like, say if I had a bad spine, what would you suggest I should do? Throw some type of hypotheticals. So where you might be talking about yourself or you might be talking for somebody else. You never know, but at least kind of, lay it out there for the recruiter to see how they kind of kind of answer the question, if they're trying to finesse you through or if they really trying to help you out. So just be mindful of that. And that's your survival guide for the MEPS medical examination. So you found this video helpful, smash that like button, the comment button, all that stuff, and don't forget to survive that too. But don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well too. So if you have any questions, put in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think. Hit the subscribe button, and I'm out. Gone.